Hello and welcome. I'm here today with our coach, Heather, who coaches in the Dietitian Boss programming. And I'm so excited to be engaging in a very important conversation with her today to help support you in your progress. So welcome to today's episode, Heather.
Thanks for having me, Libby.
Oh, I'm honored to have you. So today's topic is something that, it's common, and it came up in Rebellion, our membership program last week, and it was such a powerful conversation. So I want to bring it up again so we can talk about success and worth and how we tie success to our sense of self-worth. Can you share a little bit, whether it's a recap from that conversation or just that topic in general, because you defined it, and not only defined, but you spoke of it so eloquently, and it was really nice to hear.
Yeah, one of the things that's common about dietitians in general, and definitely the people who join Dietitian Boss, is that you're high achievers. And as high achievers, we have been taught over time that our success equals how good of a person we are, or there's some level of our own self-worth tied to our successes. So I see this coming up a lot in the model of schooling and getting an A or an A+, or crying over the B-. There's some level of ourselves tied into this external feedback of what we're doing, how we're doing. And it's very common as we translate our experiences into entrepreneurship to bring that mental model with us, that success equals our own value. And so we were talking with the dietitian bosses in Rebellion about the separation between who we are as a human being and our own inherent value as a human being, and that separation of that self from who we are as a business owner, who we are as I'm going to air quote like success, because success is defined in so many different ways. And if we narrow our definition of success to vanity metrics on our Instagram account, or even sales numbers, which is an important metric. These are important feedback mechanisms, but they don't equal you as a person and how valuable you are as a human being.
Beautiful. And I noticed that this is challenging for a lot of, it's a catch-22 almost, because like you said, those key metrics of sales are important and they're not the whole picture, but that's something that I find our clients struggle with. Because I would say, to sum that up, the process is more important than the outcome, meaning the process of you learning the materials that we teach, checking off your progression points in our programming. That's more important because you're laying down the foundation that's needed. But it's harder to celebrate something like that for mindset reasons. So I do, it's something that's challenging to promote among our clients. So what would you say, unless if you have a specific example, what would you say would be helpful for someone struggling to remove their sense of self worth from something that's easy to assign, such as making a sale? What would you say would help somebody shift that?
Wow. I mean, it takes some deep work. If you have been a high achiever for most of your life, it's really deep work of repatterning that separation of external success and internal reward. So there's a couple of strategies that I think are super important that I've had to put into place in my own life. So I'm not speaking at this from just a viewer's perspective. I've had to work through this myself. So I totally understand if you're struggling with this. But one of the most important things is to have some things of value in your life that are outside of your business, that are outside of some of these external things, because that will show you that as a human being, you are of value. And so that could be something as simple as having a yoga practice where you connect with a community or something spiritual, having a hobby. Like I had to force myself to get hobbies outside of my business of art and other things that build my sense of worth of myself outside of my business or outside of academics or outside of the next big thing that's happening for me professionally. So it's important to balance that professional life and really cultivate who you are inside. Who are you as a human being? Who are you as a person outside of your professional accolades?
So powerful. And yes, I also find this a hard sell. So balance is a value here at Dietitian Boss, and balance is what you're saying. Hobbies, it could be that you don't work Fridays. That's something we're trying to shift to in the future, is a 4-day work week. It's something we're working on as far as management. And that'll be great and exciting to role model that for all of for our audience and clients. Having a life outside of business is ultimately why we started a business, most of us, especially for a lifestyle business, like what everybody here listening, what our clients are creating, a business centered around our life, and not necessarily a business. There are different types of businesses that people are raising money for, and they have a whole different trajectory. And so the way we define, and it's an individual decision about how you want to create your own business, but here at Dietitian Boss, we role model balance so that you're making your business work for you, for your family, for your time. Because most of us, statistics show most people start a business to become their own boss and to have freedom. Finance is a piece of it. Ultimately, a lot of us want to have some element of freedom. And that freedom for most of the listeners, and I know because this is something I talk about our clients with, is time freedom. You want time and you want to feel purpose in your life. And that time and flexibility, whether you have a family or you want a family, or maybe it's time that you want to travel. And if it's a purpose, you want to work with people who are on the readiness stage of change, where they're in the action phase. And you want to work with folks that align with how you think and feel versus somebody that the hospital tells you or your clinic, says you have to see. And that can feel really good and powerful because you're using your degree and your knowledge in a way that is aligned with how you operate and your value system. So when you're working in alignment with your values and you have hobbies and you've defined what life outside of business looks like, it's for us and the way that we represent and try to role model here at Dietitian Boss, it's a really powerful way to live. And I think that it's something that our clients in different spaces and different specializations also appreciate.
Yeah, definitely. This time freedom piece is so important that you're speaking to, Libby, and also defining your life, your values. So where you are as a core person, as a person outside of business and external achievements really has to come down to your core values as a person. And that is so important. So there's some things that you can do to figure out if you've been like stuck in the books, and if you've been going from thing to thing within your life, within your academic life, then that sets up this pattern in our lives of like jumping from achievement, to-do list. So it takes some conscious patterning and some conscious choices to become a human being again. One of the most powerful ceremonies I had with a shaman was around rehumanizing post medical training. And to rehumanize, we have to figure out what lights us up just for fun, not for achievement, not for external accolades, just for fun. So that can be taking a walk, that can be enjoying nature, that can be spending time with your family, with I hesitate around spending time with family because I know sometimes as moms and dads, we can wrap up our identity in our kids too. So it's really about self-identifying who you are. And so taking some time alone is also really important in identifying who you are as a person, as a valuable human, and then also contributing to your community, whether that's through your work, through volunteering, through being active in something that's meaningful for you, which is also a value of Dietitian Boss, is to impact your local community. So those are just some of the ways to define who you are outside of business achievements and accolades, and outside of that achievement model that you've been so well trained in. So we're here to support you through this process. That's the great thing about Dietitian Boss and about having other dietitians going through this process with you in a group. And we have so many tools to help you work through not only setting up a successful business, but creating the life that you really desire. So we look forward to supporting you. Thank you so much for listening today, and anything that we can do to support you, we're here. We would love to hear your questions and continue answering them and supporting you in this path that is such a rare path for dietitians. Thank you.